The moment you feel the urge to defend yourself is the exact moment you lose power. Most people talk to prove strength. The strongest person in the room says nothing and somehow wins anyway. We live in a world addicted to reaction. Someone challenges you, respond immediately. Someone insults you, defend instantly. Someone disagrees, argue harder. Because silence feels like weakness. It feels like surrender. It feels like losing. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The person who reacts first is usually the one with less control. Think about arguments you've witnessed. Who looks more powerful? The one raising their voice? Or the one calmly observing? Exactly. Most people speak to release tension. High-value individuals? They let tension build. And tension creates authority. But there's something even deeper happening psychologically. And once you see it, you'll never rush to speak again. Silence triggers uncertainty. And uncertainty creates discomfort. When someone attacks you verbally, they expect resistance. They expect emotion, defensiveness, energy. When you give them nothing, their brain starts scrambling. Did I go too far? Why aren't they reacting? Are they judging me? You've just shifted the pressure. Silence transfers emotional weight to the other person. And humans hate carrying uncertainty. That's why silence feels powerful. Not because it's loud, but because it forces others to confront themselves. Now here's where it gets strategic. In negotiations, the person who speaks first after an offer usually weakens their position. Why? Because silence creates psychological tension. And people pay to relieve tension. Sometimes with words. Sometimes with concessions. Sometimes with respect. There's also a status element. Low-status individuals over-explain. They justify their decisions. They defend their choices. They narrate their intentions. High-status individuals? They don't rush to be understood. They assume their position. And assumption of position signals power. But here's the part nobody talks about. Silence is terrifying when you're insecure. Because when you stop talking, you're left alone with your thoughts. And most people use noise to escape themselves. That's why mastering silence isn't about strategy first. It's about emotional discipline. If you can sit in discomfort without reacting, you control the frame. And the person who controls the frame controls the interaction. But silence must be intentional. There's a difference between being quiet because you're afraid and being quiet because you're in control. One shrinks your presence. The other expands it. The difference? Internal certainty. So how do you use this without looking passive? Here are 3 practical ways. First, the 3-second rule. Next time someone challenges you, don't respond immediately. Count 3 seconds in your head. Maintain eye contact. Neutral expression. You'll feel the shift instantly. Second, stop over-explaining. If someone questions your decision, answer once. Clearly. Briefly. Then stop. No second paragraph. No justification spiral. Let silence finish the sentence. Third, use silence as a mirror. When someone says something disrespectful, don't argue. Just look at them. Calmly. Hold it. Most people will either retract, soften, or expose their insecurity. You didn't attack. You didn't defend. You simply refused to engage emotionally. And that's power. But remember, silence only works if your body language matches it. Posture upright. Breathing steady. Eyes calm. Silence with anxiety feels weak. Silence with composure feels dangerous. There's a reason the most respected people don't speak the most. Their words carry weight. Because they are not scattered. They understand something most don't. Attention is currency. Energy is currency. Reaction is currency. And when you give those away freely, you lower your value. Not every insult deserves your defense. Not every opinion deserves your response. Not every battle deserves your energy. Sometimes the strongest move is refusing to play. And when you master that, you become difficult to provoke, difficult to manipulate, difficult to control. Because the person who cannot be emotionally moved cannot be strategically defeated. The next time you feel the urge to react, remember this. Power isn't proven by what you say. It's revealed by what you don't. And sometimes, nothing is everything.